Hi, Colin Simons here from Simons Property Investing. And if you're new to our channel, welcome. Our videos are focused on helping teenagers and young adults develop strong personal finance skills. In this video, we will discuss the importance of implementing a good saving strategy to build good savings habits to help you save for your first car. This will give you the independence and self-sufficiency you need so you don't have to worry or rely on borrowing a car from your parents or friends. Before we get started, just a quick disclaimer. All of the information that I will be providing is purely for general education purposes only. I have never met you and I do not know your personal financial situation. Before taking any action, seek advice from a professional financial advisor, preferably someone who has achieved the success that you're looking for. During my 30-year period of raising 6 children and assisting them to evolve and develop into rational, intelligent, independent thinking young adults, I have identified a disturbing trend of school leavers going out into the world completely unprepared for the true reality outside of the school grounds. There seems to be a real need for modification of the current education system to include some basic life skills which would better prepare school leavers for their journey into adulthood. It has been my experience that a large portion of teenagers leaving school now are not knowing how to do a tax return, apply for finance, set up a savings plan, or put a budget in place. Often, the very adults that our children are looking up to for guidance and inspiration are struggling with their own financial problems and emotional stresses without even realizing the effect that they are having on the very children that are looking up to them. I think some of today's teachers are burnt out, overstretched, underpaid, and discontented with their career choice and wishing that they had chosen an alternate career path. I do not support the notion of teachers giving career guidance to students when they themselves have not achieved financial independence, security, and great wealth with general happiness. I do not think that these are the type of people that you should be taking career guidance from. Some teachers just should not be teaching any longer because they've clearly lost the passion and patience to do their job effectively. I do not believe that if a teacher has a choice of spending 8 hours a day in a classroom with smelly, noisy, at times disrespectful and argumentative teenagers, and then going home and continuing with marking assignments and organising school projects to earn an income that they require to support their lifestyle, that they would choose this as a preference over truly doing what they want to do. One of the main reasons that I've created this YouTube channel is to assist in helping to guide and nurture our youth and offer them the knowledge that there are multiple pathways available on offer to them as they progress through their journey to adulthood. Through mentoring and education, our youth can increase their arsenal of tools to better equip them for the challenges that lay ahead. I want our youth to know that it is not necessary for them to make a career choice whilst they are still in high school, and that their future financial success does not depend on their knowing what they want to do with their career while they are still in their teens. With commitment, hard work, and a well-executed plan, most teenagers can achieve success, financial freedom, and enjoy a very rewarding and fulfilling life. They can skillfully raise a family and enjoy the benefits of knowing they can overcome and manage any financial pressures that may arise on their journey. For the majority of teenagers, as long as they are prepared to make a plan, commit to it, and put in the effort and hard work at achieving their objectives, there is no reason why they should not achieve success and financial freedom and live a full and happy life. They can then go on to skillfully raise a family and enjoy all the benefits of knowing that all the financial pressures that they may encounter on their journey can be overcome and managed. Before we proceed, let me explain a few terms that I will be using so you have a clear understanding of what I will be discussing. As with any industry, be it engineering or medicine, there are particular words that are used which are uncommon to the rest of us. The same applies to finances. It will be necessary for you to start to learn the language of finances. There are only about 24 new words that you will need to learn the meanings of and incorporate into your vocabulary that will enable you to navigate the world of finances confidently. I will teach you some of these on this episode to help you get started on your journey. Terminology. Equity. The difference between what your house is valued at and how much you owe the bank on your mortgage. Most banks will allow you to borrow a large portion of your equity in the form of a loan secured by your real estate. Equity drawdown. If you wish to access the equity in one of your properties, you can take out a loan from the bank using the property as security. Usually you can use this equity for any purpose you choose, but it is most commonly used to assist with purchasing property. Remember that when you borrow equity, it is a loan which must be repaid. Asset. Something that puts money into your pocket, like real estate, blue chip shares, a good quality business, or superannuation. Liabilities. Something that takes money out of your pocket, like cars, motorbikes, caravans, jet skis, holidays, credit cards, jewelry, clothing, store cards. Good debt. A loan that is used to purchase an asset. Bad debt. A loan that is used to pay for liabilities. Credit card. A form of credit that allows you to borrow money from a lending institution that you will be required to pay back, including interest charges. Debit card. Similar to a credit card, except you can only access money that you have in your own account. There is no loan involved in this card, so no interest is charged. Refinancing. Replacing your existing mortgage with a new loan structure from an alternate lending institution, usually for the benefit of accessing your additional equity. Finance broker. A finance broker is a professional who helps people and businesses get loans from lenders, offers financial guidance, and helps you to navigate the challenges in securing finance. Passive income. Income that you receive without working for it, like rental income from an investment property or dividends from shares, or income from a successful business that you do not have to physically work in. Cash flow positive property. This is an investment property that provides you with additional income after all of its expenses have been covered by the rent that is paid by the tenants. This is the preferred type of investment property to purchase. Cash flow negative property. This type of investment property runs at a loss. The income received from the rent does not cover all of the expenses of holding the property. Cash flow neutral property. This type of property breaks even, neither producing profit or a loss as far as cash is concerned. Capital growth. This refers to the increase in value of the property over time. Finance application. The process you must go through in order to obtain finance for the purchase of your property. Capital gains tax. This is the tax that is payable on a property once you have sold it. You are basically taxed on the increased value of the asset since you purchased it. This tax, however, is not charged on your prime place of residence. Property manager. These are similar to a real estate agent, but they specialize in finding your tenants for you and managing your investment property. Buyer's agent. A licensed professional who helps home buyers find properties, negotiates on their behalf, and guides them through the purchasing process, working exclusively for the buyer's best interests. HECS debt. Higher Education Contribution Scheme debt is a loan program by the Australian government that allows eligible students to defer their tertiary education fees and repay it later through taxation once they start earning a certain income. Now that you have a basic understanding of the terminology of finances, you'll be better equipped to comprehend the topics that I'll be discussing. I am based in Australia, so the information I'm offering is relevant to the Australian rules and regulations, so you may wish to check the rules in your particular state, shire, or county that are applicable to you. You will also need to take into consideration the fact that I am talking about Australian dollars and that you'll need to convert the amounts that I'm discussing across to your relevant currencies in your particular country so everything makes sense to you. Let's start with developing good habits. The goal here is to implement good savings habits and learn how to budget and manage your finances. like paying cash for things like cars, boats, caravans, jet skis, motorbikes, etc. These items fall under the category of a liability, meaning that they take money out of your pocket. The opposite to this would be purchasing an asset, which puts money into your pocket. In most states in Australia, you can start working at a part-time job once you turn 14. But just do a Google check to confirm what the rules are in your state. In some states, you require the consent of your parent or guardian. Turning 14, let's begin on your savings and budgeting journey. Once you turn 14, you'll need to secure part-time work with the intention of earning a minimum of $60 per week. Your goal will be to save about $6,000 over the next 2 years. This should give you sufficient funds to purchase a good, reliable, quality car for about $5,000 and allow an additional $1,000 to cover registration, insurance, stamp duty, and any other applicable fees in your state or country.
Car saving strategy. The goal is to save $6,032 over 2 years, which works out to $58 per week for 2 years, which is $58 times 52 weeks, which is a year, which equals $3,016, times 2 years gives you a total of $6,032.
You'll be able to make this goal by working a couple of days after school or on the weekends. In some cultures and in some families, your relatives or parents will be contributing money towards purchasing your first car, which is wonderful. But if you're not in this fortunate position, then I am teaching you how to save for your own car without being reliant on your parents or carers. If you manage your time correctly, you should have plenty of time to achieve this while still meeting other obligations and requirements like sport, homework, house duties, etc. By the time you have turned 16 years of age, you should have enough money saved to buy your first vehicle. Once you have achieved your goal of saving the $6,000 for your first motor vehicle, you'll be ready to research and find your first car, which should be a very exciting time for you. If you have made it this far, you should also be feeling very pleased with yourself that you're able to stick to the program and save the required amount within the allocated time frame. If you have not quite saved the required amount by the time you turn 16, do not despair. Just keep pushing on and remember that persistence always overcomes resistance. You are creating new habits and changing your lifestyle. So be prepared for some bumps on the road, but stay focused on the goal and you'll eventually get there. Try not to be distracted by the majority of your friends who want you to spend all your money that you earn each week and save nothing. Remember that most teenagers do not have a savings plan or a roadmap to assist them, or anyone to mentor and guide them on their journey. I've yet to meet a teenager who has had a savings plan laid out for them. I have yet to meet a teenager who has had a savings plan laid out for them to assist them with saving for their first car and then their first investment property, which is being taught to them at school. In most states, by the time you're 16, you're allowed. Once you have achieved your goal of saving the $6,000 for your first motor vehicle, you'll be ready to research and find your first car, which should be a very exciting time for you. If you have made it this far, you should also be feeling very pleased with yourself that you're able to stick to the program and save the required amount within the allocated time frame. If you have not quite saved the required amount by the time you turn 16, do not despair. Just keep pushing on and remember that persistence always overcomes resistance. You are creating new habits and changing your lifestyle. So be prepared for some bumps on the road, but stay focused on the goal and you'll eventually get there. Try not to be distracted by the majority of your friends who want you to spend all your money that you earn each week and save nothing. Remember that most teenagers do not have a savings plan or a roadmap to assist them, or anyone to mentor and guide them on their journey. I have yet to meet a teenager who has had a savings plan laid out for them to assist them with saving for their first car and then their first investment property, which is being taught to them at school. In most states, by the time you're 16, you're allowed to apply for a learner's permit so you can begin practicing to drive. If you've been saving regularly and sticking to your new budget, you should have sufficient funds to now purchase that first car and start racking up the 100 hours of driving practice that you'll need to be eligible to apply for your driver's license. Confident in the fact that you'll be doing your driving lessons in your own car and not relying on someone else or worrying about damaging someone else's vehicle. I've created a separate instructional step-by-step video explaining how to find and purchase your first car. I'll include the link below. Add the video link for searching for and buying first car, video A. By now you should have turned 16, successfully purchased your first car, obtained your learner's permit, and be working on accumulating your 100 hours of driving experience without taking out any loans or requiring access to someone else's vehicle. As you now own your own car, you'll have to budget for the running expenses that come with owning a motor vehicle. Some of these will include registration, insurance, maintenance and repairs, and of course fuel. I've drawn up a chart to show you how to budget for these items and set up a savings plan to help you achieve your next goal, which should be to purchase your first property. Since you have now successfully saved for and purchased your first car, you should be ready to start saving for your next major purchase, which will be your first property. You'll need to budget about $60,000 for this. It may seem like an insurmountable task, but if you have a budget in place and stick to it, this is absolutely achievable, as all of my kids have done or are doing this right now. By now, depending on what state you live in, you will probably be in year 10 at school. At this stage, you will have to decide whether or not you're going to continue completing years 11 and 12 and then secure full-time employment, or continue on with tertiary studies. This is a sliding doors moment for all of you, and I'd like to emphasize how important it is that you get a lot of thought to what direction you'll be pursuing moving forward. I would suggest having a lengthy conversation with your parents or carers about which pathway you pursue. Saving the $60,000 deposit that you will require for your first property will take hard work and commitment. It is definitely achievable if you manage your time correctly and do not waste 12 hours a day sleeping or endless hours scrolling through social media sites or on the phone gossiping for hours to your friends. You just need to put a routine in place, manage your time efficiently, and stick to the plan. You should be able to follow this routine while still having time for hobbies, socializing, and enjoying your favorite activities. You will only ever be a teenager once, and it should be an incredible time of your life and that you thoroughly enjoy. So by all means, have a social life and make the very most of this special and precious time in your life. But also have a plan and a strategy moving forward with a definite objective to achieve some type of financial security and independence. Without this, you may feel a little lost and without purpose and meaning in your life. One of the biggest reasons for anxiety and stress in teenagers is worrying about how they're going to support themselves moving into adulthood and what type of career path they will follow. I have had discussions with my children and other teenagers about this very topic for many years, and through our own research and experience, we have concluded that it is not critical for you to know what direction forward you will need to take as you move closer to the time when you will leave school permanently. As long as you start working as soon as you can and saving as much as you can, mindful of your intention to start purchasing your first investment property while you're still in your late teens or early 20s. By putting a savings plan in place from the age of 16, you can enter the workforce by the time you're 17 and work full-time as well as a part-time job. There is no reason why you should not be able to save the required deposit to get you into your first property, set you on the path to financial freedom before the age of 20.